Good morning, everybody. How are you doing today? Just getting everything set up real quick. Alright, while I'm setting up, let me go ahead and get things rolling. Good morning, I'm Remington Reeves. Welcome to the stream. And this is No Man's Sky Creator Mode, Part 1. And we're going to go ahead and start off with a completely empty save slot here. And fire that up, because usually loading takes it a minute or so. Alright, while we're looking at the stars here, I'm going to go ahead and grab my drink real quick. Let me turn my volume down just a little bit. Alright, so this is my first time jumping into creator mode. I did attempt something with it when it first came out, but I didn't really do much other than just basically look at the ship and stuff like that. But I'm moving along pretty decent in regular mode, and so I wanted to take a break and check out the creator mode. From what I understand, it doesn't really cost anything to do anything, so I'm hoping to try and pre-plan my base that I'm going to be building in regular mode. So I think I kind of did it backwards compared to other people. I think a lot of other people kind of jumped into right into the creator mode and kind of scanned things out, feel things out, and learned how everything worked, and basically built, a really nice base for themselves. And then when they went back to normal mode, they had an idea of what was going on, and pretty much they went from there. And on me, I lost my game save in a crash, so basically I wanted to try to get my normal mode caught back up to where I was before, and we're making really good progress. However, I'm kind of getting a little anxious with the base building, so I wanted to take a look and see what I can do in creator mode. And that way, if I start to get a little further along like I am with the bases, I will have a better understanding of what to expect and how things work. So let's go ahead and get started. And I think the cuboidal room is really what I want to use and get into and figure out how those things work. obviously I have under redeem items because that's referring to my pre-order ship. Alright, let's take a quick look here at my stuff. Alright, so we still have a basic multi-tool that doesn't really have a lot of slots. Same thing with the starship and our exosuit. So we still, I guess by the looks of it, we're going to have to keep an eye out on the upgrades for our items, just like in normal game. And so we're still going to have to collect resources and everything else, I guess. So let me go ahead and just find some stuff to shoot and try to get some iron. Well, that's carbon. I'll take carbon to start. Now, I've been saying that I wanted to switch over to my Xbox One controller versus the USB Logitech controller that I had, because the Logitech controller, the analog thumbsticks, um, they were sticky and very stiff, and they weren't very well defined when it came to slight movements. And so I put the Xbox One controller in, and I got that working out pretty well. And I'm actually really happy because now with my movements, they're a little more refined, a little more precise. I can control things and have smoother um, angles and things like that, whereas before with the Logitech, I wasn't so lucky, especially with my right stick looking down. It would always get jammed in a permanent like looking down position. So always making progress, always trying to push forward. Now I do ask you guys to bear with me. Normally when I stream, it's pre-work, so I'm a little more energetic, a little more talkative. Unfortunately today, um, I worked, and this is post-work, so I'm a little bit more tired, a little less talkative. So if you catch me in some quiet spots, just kind of doing my thing, more or less it's just basically because I just finished work. So, but wanted to get some game time in, try to relax, cool down. It's always nice to kind of unwind when you get done work. Well, we're just beating the crap out of our little pea shooter here. This poor thing, I hope it has a warranty, because we're definitely getting our money's worth out of it. Now, in normal mode, we've already pretty much moved on. I believe we're on like our third, if not our fourth base. Primarily, we've been jumping from base to base because um, we haven't found a planet that was very suitable for our base. Everything was really extreme. And so far this planet's not looking too bad. It has reasonable weather and reasonable plant life. So if things work out really well, unless I find like a nice tropical beach somewhere, I think I'm probably going to stick around for a while on this planet and just work on the base. With the creator mode um, videos that I'm going to be working on, uh, I more or less am looking to just focus mostly on the base. I do plan on trying to um, do upgrades for my ship and multi-tool and whatnot. Um, Mostly to allow me to further along my base building. Um, I don't really plan on doing a lot of exploring and things like that in this mode. It's just mostly what can I do to make my base better. And so I'm not going to focus so much on trying to run out into the universe and try to look for things. I basically just want to do the least amount possible just to get the base built and upgraded. Yeah, see, I haven't even really looked at a lot of the stuff here in normal mode because I don't really have the ability to build those things yet. So I'm just kind of perusing through our items to see what kind of stuff we have here. Now I have had a few subscribers ask me about survival mode and if I was going to attempt to do survival mode, and I told them that it's definitely on the board to be done. However, from the few people that I have spoke with that are already working on survival mode, it is indeed rather difficult, they said, especially when you first start. And I've been joking with them that until I can learn to land a ship on a pad, I'm probably not gonna do survival mode for the fact that they tell me that it costs so much plutonium in survival mode to launch your ship, but it's free when you launch from the platforms. So I have to learn how to land my ship on platforms so that way I can conserve, or else I'll probably die. At least that's what they tell me. So, and I am very bad when it comes to landing on these platforms. But so far, we're not too worried about landing just yet. Alright, well it looks like we have a toxic storm outside, so that's not good. But at least it's not raining all the time. On my first planet, in normal mode, when I found a place to build a base, um, it was horrible. The sentinels were like kill on sight, and basically it was always raining, toxic rain, and it was like terrible. And then when there was a storm, which was like every 10 minutes, it would practically chew your life bar down like in no time at all. I think it'd probably only take maybe like 30 seconds and your shield or your toxic resistance was completely wiped out. So it was a very, very harsh environment, very hard place to build a base. So let's go ahead and throw up our construction terminal. So that way that's ready for our construction guy when we make it to a space station. See if I can decorate him out a little bit and add a few more corridors and whatnot. Now in normal mode, we just built our farmer, and we managed to find the farmer and hired him, and we just started learning how to plant things, and so we're not very far along in the base building aspect in normal mode, but we're getting there. Like I said, I kind of wanted to take a break and jump over to creator mode and slow things down a little bit, just kind of chill out and learn how to do some things, mostly because on normal mode I kind of feel like I'm always being pushed to go do something, and for about 2 days, we basically were running around looking for these items for our employees of the base, and just to kind of make them happy and further along things, and be able to create new things for the base. And so I really kind of got burned out in those 2 days, trying to find these rare items to make these guys happy. So if I don't have to do that kind of stuff in creator mode, and I can kind of just be a little more free and build, then I'll be happy. So I'm trying to figure out my layout of my land, because I don't want to go to push out to build and then I hit a boundary really close. I'm trying to build more towards whatever the center is, but I think they pretty much centered us, so I think it doesn't really matter which direction I build. So since I have one over there, I'm gonna match. I like to be symmetrical, so I'm gonna build this way, but it looks like I'm probably gonna have to move the ship, because for me to place the round room, I think the ship's in the way. So let's go ahead and jump in the ship and take off if it'll let us. And I'm going to try to reposition the ship a little further away from us. Alright, that's cool. They let us go up. And I'm probably going to have to go out a little bit and then come back around. So just bear with me. Couldn't quite see where I was going to be landing at, so... Alright, yeah, it looks like we're centered. So we're going to be able to build out in all directions for the base, which is nice. Depending on the placement of the items inside, I'd like to try to. It looks like we have it like going east and west, so we can't do anything with the front door, and I doubt they're going to let me put anything here. So we're only going to be able to go side to side for the moment. But we'll go ahead and put our scientist in that room there, and we'll do it on the same position, so when you walk in, it'll be right here. And that's construction, that's weapons, there's science. Alright. So then what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to probably see if I can try to put our next section going backwards. So I'm going to have a tunnel to a round room going in the, I guess, if you want to call that, northern direction. And then I'll do that on both sides. And then that way we can build out with the base from there. We can't really build out the base this way because of the front door, and oh, they will let me go this way. Cool. I didn't think they were going to let me go that way. Alright, well, we'll do that too. There we go. Alright, that's unexpected. I didn't think they were going to let me blow that wall out because of all the stuff that they put on the wall. But that's cool. So then what I'll do is I'll actually go ahead and I'll match it on all three. So we'll have like a trident design. Now I do know eventually I'd like to get to the cuboid rooms, because I know with the cuboid rooms I believe you can start to like go up and stuff like that, and that's kind of what I'm really interested in. So you see, there we go, that's nice. So now we're pretty much connected all around. And what I was doing in normal mode was I basically was giving each individual employee like his own room, and I haven't gotten to the point where I'm kind of decorating or anything fancy just yet. But what I'd like to do is I gave them the room because I wasn't sure if there was going to be other items that I would have to build for that particular employee to make them be able to do more than just the first terminal. when I played Osiris New Dawn, you were constantly having to build newer terminals for more items and so forth. So it doesn't appear that way at the moment, at least in No Man's Sky. It doesn't look like you're going to need to build more terminals or anything specific for the science guy. Once you build his one station, he's happy. But I do want to try to pimp out his room and make it more um, sciencey, like a lab for him, and then the same for our other employees. So I'm going to try to decorate the construction guy stuff and make it more construction-y. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and throw up um, our other terminals, and we'll get the weapons terminal. And then what we'll do is we'll put the farming terminal in the other room. And now the farming terminal, from what I've seen in a few of the videos that I've watched from some of the other streamers that I like to check out, farming seems to be like one of the biggest things, especially for making money. So I know that I'm going to definitely have to upgrade the area for the agricultural terminal, because we're basically going to be farming the crap out of stuff to make things to sell to make money. Excuse me. So we have all our terminals set up, which is good. So as soon as we locate these guys in the space station, we can hire them right off the bat, get them down here and get them to work. And I'm kind of liking the layout so far of the base. It's nice and open and so far symmetrical. I like to keep things symmetrical, well, at least to a degree. And then you can pretty much go to who you need to go to relatively easily because of all the corridor connections. So what I think I would like to do is in the center room here, where there isn't a terminal or anything. I think this is probably where I would probably want to try to start building up. I don't know how to do that just yet, but if I have to, I'll break this room down and put whatever else I need to here so I can do it. But I'd kind of like to make this my tower, make this go up, and then that's kind of like the center of the base. Because as I continue to build out, what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to go ahead and again put another corridor straight to around. Well, you know what? I'll do that right now. Worst case scenario, I can always break this stuff down and utilize it differently later if I want to. So we'll go ahead and make our round room again. And there should be one more corridor to connect. There we go. Alright, so that's cool. So basically that'll help us out a little bit, because then if I start to drop stuff for Farmer Joe is what I like to call him, which I could probably start to build some of his stuff. That's not what I'm looking for. There it is, farming. And then I think what I'll do is I'll make this other room here a lot of these incubators for farming. And I'm probably gonna have more than just these two rooms, I would imagine, because it seems like you're gonna need a reasonable amount of stuff to build your stuff, but you're also gonna need, once you start building the stuff to produce things to sell for money, you're gonna need a lot. So I wouldn't even be surprised if I end up making a couple more rooms. But for now, that's not too bad. And it doesn't look so empty. Let me see if there's anything I could... Yeah, I don't really have any of the items. That's a cool light. It actually puts out a decent amount of light. Decorations is what I'm looking for. Yeah, they'll let me put some stuff there. Cool. Make sure it goes back far enough. Try to get it somewhat centered. Come in here and we'll throw some more decorations in here too. That looks more like the something for the construction guy. Alright, so this room's pretty good. That's cool. I want to hang this up in the armory room. Because I don't know if there's a lot to put in his room for his room to get like decorated out. But worst case scenario, I'll just fill the walls up with tons of guns. Just kind of goofing off, decorating. Nothing much. What's going on, Steve? How you doing this morning? I'm just chilling. We'll give him an exhaust fan. I could probably put that in the farmer's room too. There's a lot of decorations. Sounds like a storm. I don't know what that is. It's considered a decoration, but oh fudge. We put the armory guy stuff in the construction dude's room. That's horrible. I guess I'll have to deconstruct the terminal and rebuild it. It seems like it'd be easier. Alright, let me see. There we go. Alright, so I'll go ahead and I'll put the weapon terminal in here, if it'll let me. I think I might have ran out of material to do it. I'll have to run outside and get some, but before I go and do that, let me go ahead and check, because I might be able to salvage back some of the material from this. There we go. Alright, so that looks a little better. I need to still have some stuff to hang on the walls and whatnot, but fill it up a little bit. Let me go ahead and see if I could put the construction back up since I took that down. Yep, there we go. Little goof, but no big deal. I accidentally started decorating the room for the armory and realized that we were in the construction room, so I had to swap them out. But we'll go ahead and hang some more guns on the wall. You can't ever go wrong with tons of weapons on the wall. Not for the armory guy, anyway. He gets tons of storage lockers and cool stuff. They don't have the flags labeled for any particular race. I'm not sure if one's. I guess one, Gek would probably be yellow. Korvax, I guess, would be blue, and the Viking would be red, if I'm not mistaken. That would be my assumption. So I'll go ahead and hang him a Viking flag, because we know that the armory guy is going to be a Viking. That, and we also did put the red carpet on the ground, so. And we got like one more little cubby corner here to decorate, but I guess we can always hang more guns. Can't go wrong with guns on the wall. What'd be really cool is if they let you have more than one weapon and you could store your weapons on the wall. That would be pretty neat. Maybe they'll do that in the future. Maybe. Alright, cool. So the armory is pimped out for when we get him hired. Not too shabby. And we got our farmers area pretty much pimped out for when he comes. And we have 2 rooms set up for growing our stuff. Let's go ahead and take a quick look at our science stuff. He gets all sorts of cool terminals and whatnot. Now that's red and it won't let me build it. I'm not sure why. Maybe I don't have the material.
Toxic protection stabilizing.
Now that's gonna be hard to center. I'm assuming this thing's like a light, and it would be cool if I can get it centered in the room, but other than looking straight up and standing directly in the middle with my crosshair in the center there, I don't know if I'm going to be able to really center this thing. That's pretty much about where I think it would be. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, it's not too bad. Yeah, it is light, which is good because it's the science guy, so maybe we'll try to see if they got some small tables or something. Okay, so that hangs from the ceiling. That's why it wasn't letting me do anything, I guess. Or does it hang off of the light? It looks like it hangs off the light or the ceiling. I guess it's the ceiling. Alright, cool. I'm not really able to get a good view of this. I can't quite tell. Alright, so it looks like the monitor. That's a pain in the butt. Alright, let's go ahead and give him some filing cabinets, maybe. Or lights. Lights are always good. Can't go wrong with lights. I'm just trying to find out. I can rotate. Okay, I didn't notice that before. You can rotate with Y on the joystick. Or on a controller. Alright, so that helps out some. That's a window. Okay. We'll give him a white table. We'll put it in the center here. Hopefully we don't cuss about having to run around it later. Probably will, but small price to pay to make things look nice, I guess. There we go. Looks a little more sciencey. I still got some room here, but we'll see what we can put. I really wanted to put that in here, but unless I can get it where I like it, I'm not gonna drop it. There we go. Alright, that seems to work. Oh, it's in the wall. Come on. That looks so chintzy. I guess we're not going to use add. That's fine. We'll put something different in there. There we go. We'll give him a window. It is a science room after all. Well, we can't put the window there. That kind of looks silly. It's pretty cool. I think it looks pretty good. Hey, BW, how's it going, man? Good morning. Can I have a sub? Shane and Tristan Gaming? I'll have to check your channel out, man. When I get done my stream, I'll come check you out. Just kind of chilling. Just got done work. Decided to come home and slow things down a little bit. And so I decided to give creator mode a shot and play around with building a base. And it's pretty cool, pretty fun. So far, I haven't caught up to this point in normal mode. So I'm kind of seeing a lot of new stuff that I haven't seen yet. But got a lot to look forward to in normal mode. Now, I don't know if I'm ready for some hardcore survival mode, but definitely enjoying creator mode a little bit. I'm really pleased with the update they did. Personally, I didn't really have that many problems with the game when it first came out. I didn't follow the hype train as much as everybody else did, so I wasn't, I guess you could say, as disappointed as much as everybody else. But I always kind of looked at No Man's Sky as a come home from work and chill game, kind of like what I'm doing now. And it's nice, the colors and the relaxing atmosphere and the soft tone music. As long as you don't get a bunch of sentinels trying to shoot your face off, I have a lot of fun. I am looking forward to see what else they have coming in the pipeline. I heard and read a few things about the possibility of taming pets and having pets and stuff, and I think that's really neat. BW says survival is a real challenge. Yeah, I was actually telling the viewers a little earlier about my terrible flying skills and how I cannot land on a landing pad to save my life. And a couple of the viewers had informed me in several other videos that in survival mode it's rather expensive to fly your ship, but it is free, I guess, when you land on a landing pad. And I laughed and told them, until I get my driver's license, I guess I'm not going to be allowed to play survival mode because I can't fly my ship very well. I crash into things quite often, and my parking is terrible. Maybe they'll have to. In fact, you know what? I saw that you said that you were possibly trying to talk to Hello Games for Writing, Bicycle Walrus. Maybe you should tell them that they need to put a flight tutorial in to teach me how to fly and land my ship properly. Mr. Sticks McGee, I watched their survival stream and it looks tough but fun. Haven't played it yet though. Yeah, I've watched a few myself and they do seem pretty tough. I do know that you seem to start pretty far away from your ship, and it can be a challenge just to get to your ship alone and get it fixed and off the ground. I heard that I believe a lot of the equipment you start with also needs to be repaired, which can be rather difficult. And yeah, so it does sound really hard. I mean, I'm kind of looking forward to it because I do like challenging games, but I think I do need to kind of brush up on some certain skills before I do make an attempt at it. especially if I'm going to stream it, because if I stream that right now, it's going to be very bad. Tom says, hey, can you sub me because I have been watching you and I was your 10th sub. Yeah, Tom, I'll check you out, man. Just make sure you drop me a comment, because sometimes I don't always get to write everybody down in the stream. Drop me a comment and let me know, and I'll definitely come check you out and watch some of your videos, and I'll sub to you. Alright, so this is construction, which is Gex, so he should, if I'm not mistaken, get a yellow banner. So I'll go ahead and drop him a yellow banner. And I thought there was some, here he is, that desk. It's kind of like a crafting desk for drafting desk, is what I think it is. DM says, I think I would kill myself if I had to write a flight tutorial for this game. No offense to you, but flying is a bit intuitive, easy to pick up. You might be a special case. Yes, sir, indeed. I am special. Special indeed. Tom says, get a piece of paper and write it down, fool. What's wrong with you? I do actually have a little piece of paper and a pen here, so I can jot you down. A good friend of mine that's been checking out a lot of my streams yelled at me enough to finally get a little notepad, and so I did. We were having issues with, I couldn't remember what material we were actually looking for, and Redbeard's his name. He finally was like, dude, you seriously need to get a pen and paper. And so I broke down and actually got up and went and found some pen and paper to write down what we were actually looking for. It was pretty bad. I actually got like halfway going somewhere and had to turn around and come back just to come and talk to the people to find out what it was that we were looking for, because nobody could remember. Made for some entertaining video though. Yeah, it looks a little nicer. I hope he likes it when I hire him. Now, I do like to name my employees, and I wish I could rename them in-game. However, they won't allow us to do so, at least not yet. But I like to call my construction employee and my science employee and my weapon employee and farmer employee all by special names. So Wanker Bob is generally my construction employee, and Dingleberry is my science officer. Farmer Joe is my farmer, and Dung is my weapons terminal specialist, my weapons specialist. So if you hear in future videos me referring to any particular person by an awkward name like that, it means I'm talking about my employees, and I tend to make fun of them a lot, and I usually curse them because they're always sending me out to dangerous places. The one place my science terminal guy sent me to was like a irradiated planet that I think gave me radiation poisoning to the point where I don't think I'll ever be able to have kids. So I like to thank him about that all the time. So let's get a look from the outside and take a look and see how our little project's doing. Not too bad. A little complicated, but I like it. Tom says, can you check out my bro Gilly's Gaming too? He was your 13th sub. Yeah, I'll give him a look-see. I like actually checking out a lot of the subs channels and see what they're up to. I usually take at least a good 20-30 minutes a day, and I actually go through my sub list and see what you guys are up to and what kind of videos you're making and what kind of games you're playing and stuff like that. Now remember, Tom, if you happen to have a game, especially if it's a multiplayer game, and you know that I have that game, make sure you let me know if you're actually playing it. Or if you see me playing it and you want to hop in on a match or something, always feel free to hit me up, because I love playing with you guys too. So any kind of multiplayer game, feel free. I believe I have my Steam name in the stream as well now, so you guys can try to look me up on Steam and send me a friend's request on Steam, and we can get some gaming action that way too.
Stabilizing.
I do have a lot of PvP arena style games too, like Paladins and Smite and Overwatch and a couple other games like that that I like to play. And it's always fun if you can actually get a group of guys together, especially if you're friends. Over time, when you play together, you tend to get really good at it, and it's nice because you guys start to basically become intuitive to the point where you kind of know what each other's generally going to do without really even having to talk about doing it. And it's always fun, especially when you get to that kind of point, because then you can basically just go in and mow people down. So I can't build the containers inside. I can't build the containers inside, but I do know, I believe once you start to connect to the cuboidal rooms, I believe you can actually put the containers connected to the cuboidal rooms, and therefore you don't have to worry about going outside any longer to get to storing and retrieving your items. Just have to bear with me here. I'm kind of not used to knowing where everything is on these items list because I haven't really used them before. Now, I think if I'm not mistaken, I recall you can only have 2 landing pads that are functional. I think I watched that on one of Bicycle Walrus's streams. I think he actually had like a nice floor plan for a base that he was working on, and I believe he said that he found out that they only utilized 2 of the landing pads out of the 4 that he had planned on using, and so that's something to also keep in mind, because I believe they do limit you on the quantity of things that you can do with your base as far as your the amount of things you can build in the space that you have and stuff like that. So in the event that ooh, why is it doing that to me in my house? That's weird. But yeah, so essentially you don't want to waste precious building space with something that's going to be useless. Um, Decorations aside, because that's what decorations are for. Like that looks like it needs a table. Let's see if I can find a little table. Pimping out the pad for the ladies. You never know when you're gonna have a a sexy alien lady come home and you need to have a nice apartment set up for them, you know? They'll be like, "Oh, I like your stuff." So you got to set the mood with this light right here. If you don't have this light in your bedroom, I don't know, man. Geez, this is pretty early. I just woke up. Hey, I see you. How you doing? Yes, indeed, it is early. It is 9:42 a.m. here for me. I actually had started working overnights again for a little bit, and so I just finished work about an hour, a little over an hour ago, and I decided to kind of hop on, and I jumped on creator mode, and I'm just kind of floating around and tinkering with the base building aspect of the game, just to kind of see some of the stuff that should be playing with soon in normal mode. I kind of wanted to get a taste and see what it was like and how some of these things worked. And so far, it's pretty darn cool. Then you're saying it's almost 7 a.m.? Yeah. So, yeah, I'm in the Eastern time zone. I live in New Jersey, so I'm in the Eastern time zone. I wonder if I should have put a door there. If they'll let me put a door there. No, not that door. No, I guess not. Alright, we'll go back to the window. That's fine, the window's pretty. But yeah, so basically, I got done work and I came home and I was telling myself, I was like, well, you know what? I can't go to bed just yet. I gotta be up for a little bit. If I go to bed too early, then it messes me up when I have to go back into work later in the night. So I was like, well, maybe I'll do a stream. And I was like, well, you know, I usually don't stream this early in the morning. Um, so I really don't want to jump on my normal play game because then a lot of you guys that normally watch me, you know, later in the day, you know, you guys are all off doing other things like going to school and work and things like that. So I was like, maybe I'll try to do something a little different, but I kind of wanted to play No Man's Sky. So I said, you know what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll start creator mode part one, and I'll just kind of play around with building a base and see what I have in store for me in normal mode, and just kind of get a feel of how things work and how things snap together, and what can be placed where and things like that. So that way it gives me I guess, a way to brainstorm how I want to do my base when it comes to normal mode. Because hopefully at some point in normal mode I'll find a really nice planet that has a lot of resources and animals, and then, you know, it's fairly tame and doesn't give me a lot of crap, you know, and no toxic, you know, rain or anything like that. And then I'll be able to build a really nice, huge, big base and pimp it out like I'm kind of doing here in creator mode, and more or less set up a permanent shop that I don't plan on breaking down again. You wish you had winter break for work? Yeah, me too. I usually work about 6 days a week right now. So, and by the time I usually get my 1 day off that I don't put hours in on the clock, um, I'm usually trying to spend it with my girlfriend, and at the same time, I'm trying to play catch up and, you know, pay bills and clean and do laundry, and you know, come up with ideas for the YouTube channel, and what kind of games are coming out that I want, and what games do I want to stream, and how can I make the stream better, and how can I make the channel better, and uh, toying with different ideas for actual edited movies or edited videos rather, instead of doing streams. I just actually uploaded my first edited video, and it's kind of more of just a slideshow than a video. Oops, excuse me. I hit my chair release button and my chair just dropped on me. I do that about 10 times a day. But yeah, I just did my first edited video and I uploaded it last night before I went to work, and it's just kind of a slideshow. And basically, it more or less was explaining what happened to me over the weekend that I didn't stream because of what happened, and kind of like all the research and looking into things that I was doing.
Stabilizing.
I was trying to see if they'd let me connect that landing pad somehow. Maybe if I put a door on here instead. Now I gotta find the landing pad again, because I'm not sure where everything is. There it is. That's just a pad. It doesn't have
Toxic protection.
the ramp, I guess.
Stabilizing.
It looks like there's supposed to be a ramp on it. I guess not. I was hoping to try to hook it to the base, kind of like how a lot of the other ones are, but it looks like the height of the launch pad is different than that of the door, so I guess they don't connect.
Stabilizing.
I did see ramps at some point, but I'm not sure if that's going to connect it either. See, I haven't really got into these cuboids and those type of windows and the lifting and the struts and the foundations and stuff. I think that's how you start to actually really put your base upward. Oh, cool. I can go up with it like that. That's pretty neat. So I can put a dome on a dome. Now, how do I get to go upstairs in the dome is the question. I guess I gotta find that ladder.
Stabilizing.
And now that there's a second floor, maybe that ladder will take me up somehow.
Toxic protection. Stabilizing.
Oh, there it goes. I'm gonna have to get rid of that table then. That's fine. I'll trade the table in for a second floor, why not? Now I just gotta, there it goes. Cool, I built my first second floor. Or second story. Sweet. That's pretty cool. Let me see if they'll let me build outwards. Yeah, they'll let me build outwards. That's cool. But They won't let me go there. I guess I gotta do another dome. Yep. That is sweet. Sweet stuff, guys. Sweet stuff. I'm learning. I'm educating myself. Education is important. That's how they would say it from where I'm from. Education. Because they're not. Oop, sugar. I fell. Never said I was the sharpest tool in the shed. Yeah, so we're just a kind of experimenting here, trying to figure out what works and what doesn't work. The kind of things you expect in a part 1. I really like the windows. I like the windows a lot. And the roof corridors are nice. Now, if this was real life, I don't know if I'd want that many windows and glass corridors and stuff, because then you're, depending on where you live, your heating and cooling bills would be crap, because the more glass you have in the house, usually, unless you are buying some really expensive, like triple pane glass with the argon gas and all that kind of stuff in the panels, you're going to tend to have a lot of issues when it comes to trying to keep your house warm or cold. But we're in outer space on a freaking planet. We don't have to worry about a heating bill, so we don't care. I do kind of wish they kind of gave you a little bit more freedom on where you wanted to put your base. Primarily because I would go and find myself some kind of really scenic, you know, place to set up shop, you know, somewhere near the water or in the mountains or something awesome. So that way, you know, when I built like these huge towers and things with all these windows and I'm like just chilling, I could, like, you know, have a nice view to look out at. And unfortunately, we're kind of at their mercy on where our base gets put. And granted, we don't have to take that base, but at the same time, it's like, well, you know, if you find a really good planet, in a sense, you don't have a choice, because it's either, hey, you either build on this planet and we're going to make you look at, you know, the giant pile of animal poop, or you can go live on, you know, the extremely hostile planet and have the pretty mountains with snow. I see you says, I came here because I was worrying about my brother a lot. He went to the hospital because he had a temperature that rose up to 105 degrees. He's only 13 years old. Yeah, 105 degrees is a pretty high fever. Generally, which I went to school for, nursing, the way that the body works is the reason that you get a temperature is because your body's basically trying to fight an infection, so to speak, to get you back to normal. So the body basically raises the temperature to try to kill whatever's going on inside your body. Unfortunately, the adverse effect of the body raising the temperature that high, it can cause damage to other parts of your body. So, yeah, when it gets that high, you don't want to be that high for very long if you can help it, because it can be very dangerous. But I hope your brother is okay. I'm sure, especially if they took him to the hospital, he will be okay. They'll probably give him some medicine, and depending on his situation, they might put like a drip on him to rehydrate him and some stuff like that. And they'll probably monitor him for a little bit, and then everything will be okay. And depending on what's wrong with him, they might prescribe him some antibiotics, and he'll get to come home and chill out and Basically, he'll just have a lot of fluids and get a lot of rest, and probably in a couple of days everything will turn out okay. Yeah, when it comes to being sick and having problems, I'm usually a good expert on that kind of stuff because there's always something wrong with me. I'm always sick. Will they let me do another one? Yes, they will. Cool. Be back in like 10 minutes. Gonna go watch that slideshow. Also, thanks for filling me in on what's actually going on. No problem, man. I am a wealth of knowledge. I'm not always an expert in everything, but I know quite a bit and about a lot of things. Kind of a jack of all trades, I guess you could say. I've had a lot of different jobs in my life, and I was pretty good at most of them. Not too shabby. I'm kind of just building this center pillar here. I think it'd be pretty cool just to have like this giant tower in the center going all the way up, and basically nothing but windows to kind of chill out and look in. I highly doubt that I'm gonna do a lot of things up here, but who knows? Maybe if I get lucky, they'll let me put another landing pad on top of the platform or something way up in the air, and then I can actually land on it. Because when it's on the ground, I never can see the damn thing, and I always end up parking on a mountain or a cliff or something, and then I fall out of my ship and die. But it looks like we can still go up maybe some more. Let me try. That last batch, it let me go up. No, did we hit the limit? Maybe. Yeah, it says available build 9. Base complexity is at 98%. So I think I might be hitting the peak of what I'm allowed to do. Hey, look, there's a ship parked on my dock, and it's taken off. That's pretty cool. See if I can find some more windows. I'm digging windows, man. Windows everywhere. I like the windows. There's no pesky kids in the neighborhood to throw any kind of rocks or anything. Oh, that sucks. It says reached my limit. I guess they won't let me have any more windows. That'd be funny if they let me put a door here and then you walk out the door and just fall to your death. Oh man. That's what I do in my survival games, you know, especially like the multiplayer ones where other people can come to your house even though you're not online. It sucks because they always like to come in there and raid your stuff, and they try to take all your materials and things when you're not online. So it sucks because when you build your base or your house or whatever you want to call it, it's almost like you kind of have to build this fun house because you don't want the people that you don't know breaking into your house and taking your stuff, especially if it's like, rare resources like ammunition or weapons or something. So it's funny because usually what I'll do is I'll actually dig down into the ground and I'll build like a bunker underground, and then I'll have this, big giant elaborate base on top. So when you come, you'll see a nice base and you'll go through it and look around and whatnot. But like way off in some like abstract corner that has like nothing going on with it really, there'll be like a little hidden entranceway which will take you down into the bunker, and that's where actually all my stuff is. And it's all hidden like in hidden rooms behind hidden rooms behind hidden rooms. And it doesn't look like No Man's Sky is really at the point where they're going to let you dig underground bunkers. But who maybe knows? In a future patch they'll add it. It's quite possible. But it looks like it says my base complexity is 99%. So I don't know if they're going to let me build any more of anything. I think I might pretty much be capped out on everything. Which it doesn't seem like my base is really all that huge. But it's not a bad size, I guess. Ooh, I landed right on the light post. I don't think I could have did that if I tried again. But yeah, it's not too shabby of a base. Other than the potential of, if they even would let me, of putting the landing pad on top of my base to make it easier for me to land on, going vertical, other than kind of being cool looking, I don't think it's very practical. But then again, it also depends on the amount of land that they give you to build the base. Because if you were to attempt to build your base all on one level, you might not be able to fit all your pieces in the area. But I see you says, hey, I am back. Welcome back. I'm still here, at least for the time being. We were just talking about the base because it seems like the indicators telling me that my base complexity has hit 99%. So we're under the assumption that that means that they're not going to let me build any more pieces for my base. But it does look like I have a visitor ship coming in, which is really cool. What would be really, really cool is if when I go inside my base, the captain was actually inside the house. That would be pretty cool. I don't think they're going to do that though. Maybe in the future. But yeah, now after kind of futzing around and seeing how things connect and how things work, I can actually probably play with things a little bit more and come up with some really cool designs. Like what I would think would be really neat, and granted, it would probably take a decent amount of resources, and I don't necessarily know if they would even uh, allow me the amount of stuff that I want. But I think what would be pretty neat is if I did 4 towers and basically have them connected on the top layer. So basically you would go from corner to corner to corner to corner with the glass connectors like that one there. So basically if you got rid of that bottom connector and the center here, and basically had like this corner 3 high or 4 high, and then run it across with the glass connectors and just do a square, I think that would be really neat. Because then you can basically have everything up, put everything up on the top floor, and essentially your pillars are just there holding everything up. Um, you might be able to do that kind of stuff with the cuboidal rooms and these foundation struts. If you use the foundation struts, that might actually save you some stuff. but I haven't really messed with the struts and the foundations and stuff yet. So what I'm probably gonna have to do is I'll probably have to abandon this base eventually and start a new base so I don't have to worry about trying to deconstruct everything, and then I'll have to play around with doing something with the cuboid rooms instead, and see what kind of stuff I can do with them. Because I think it would be really cool to try to do some kind of like Cloud City base where like you just have like one pillar shooting up in the air and then have like the foundation holding everything up in the air. And if I can do that with things like these struts or something, that would be pretty nifty. The imagination runs wild with possibilities.
Toxic protection. Stabilizing.
I'm not connected to anything yet, so I don't think it's gonna. Yeah, alright, cool. I do need to eventually figure out a way to do the cuboidal so I can connect to. Excuse me. Oh, sorry about that, guys. So I can have the storage containers connected to the inside. But again, this is just my first run at things. Just kind of playing around, figuring out how things work, how things go together. Looking at how some of this furniture lays and if it looks like it's going to be items that would get in the way and stuff like that. Yeah, now one ladder's not too bad for going up levels, but it seems like when you go into my center room where I did go all the way up, it seems like having these ladders straight up like this in one run can be problematic if you're not paying attention and you want to actually get off on a different level than all the way to the top. Now, only if my planet was pretty with green instead of orange. It's pretty cool. They're actually flying in formation, and it looks like that one guy broke off because it looks like he might be coming to me to land on my platform. That was pretty cool to see. It's actually pretty awesome because like now like I know he's here. As long as I don't lollygag, I can probably get downstairs and I can go out there and talk to him, and they'll probably allow me to sell and buy, you know, just as if I was on a space station running around trying to find my ladder. There it is. And it should be right here. Yep. There he is. Let's see what kind of stuff he's got going on. Well, we're in a Viking system because he's a Viking pilot, so that should be a good indicator that when we go up into space, we should be seeing Vikings, which means we'll probably be able to hire the armor, and more than likely, I've seen Gek constructionists in a Viking system too, so we'll probably be able to hire the armorer and the constructionist. But the Korvax and the Gek farmer we're gonna probably have to pick up later, and that'll probably be from going to a different system. We're gonna hold that Antrim because I know we're gonna need it. I was just gonna sell off the carbon to make a couple bucks because carbon would be easier to replace. That was pretty cool. And of course, I put the extra door there.
Toxic protection. Stabilizing.
But yeah, man, I'm totally digging this base. Just the whole concept of the base building is nice. And I'm sure it's going to be even better when I do it in the normal mode and I get the freighter and all that kind of stuff. So I'm really looking forward. Makes me want to play normal mode, but unfortunately not today. Uh, what's going on, Hype Croc? Good to see you, man. Haven't talked to you for a little bit. How are you doing? Mr. Sticks McGee says, sorry for the sidetrack question, but have you ever encountered a ladder get blocked off in your base, forcing you to disassemble and build a new ladder? Not yet. I'm still pretty new with the base building. I'm not as far along in normal mode compared to the base that I just did today with the creator mode. However, I've seen some videos of some other streamers that have had some issues with building things. Like one thing I've noticed, and I think it was Bicycle Walrus, it might have been Bicycle Walrus's video because I like watching him a lot. I think he was building and he was attacking sentinels and stuff, and I noticed that the certain things like canisters and other stuff that would drop on the ground from like where he was destroying the sentinels and stuff, and then when he would turn around to go to build, some of those items would still be on the ground, stuck in the ground, and then when he would build, it would build on top of that, and then that particular item wouldn't go away, and then that could also cause potential issues when you went to put down items. Um, but as far as the actual ladder, which is an interactive piece for you, getting fetched up or anything, not yet. I haven't had that issue. Now, fortunately enough, with this being creator mode, if I were to make a mistake, then to me it's not a big deal. I could probably just blow it out and redo it. Because I did that earlier in the stream where when I first started, I thought this room was my armory room, and it was in fact my construction room, and I didn't realize it, and I started decorating the room out with the stuff to make it look like an armory. And then I realized that by the time I turned back around, it was said construction terminal. So I had to blow the construction terminal up and then put the weapons terminal up, and then I had to go into my other room and do the same thing. I blew the weapons terminal up and then put the construction terminal up because it was easier to replace the terminal than it was for me to take all the decorations down. But there was no cost to doing it, so it wasn't that big of a deal. Now, if I made that error in normal mode, then that's something I would have had to space out over a period of time because it would have just cost too many resources to do that. Hype Croc says, I'm doing fine, thanks for asking. That's good, man. I'm glad you're doing good. I hope everybody's excited for the holidays. The holidays are just around the corner. Hanukkah and Christmas and everything else going on. So I hope everybody's out shopping and having fun and making their list and checking their list off for other people, which is always good. I myself, I would say I'm probably around 98% ready for the holidays. I just basically have one more gift to wrap, one more gift one more gift to wrap, one more gift to mail.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Six McGee is subscribed. Welcome. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. Hype Croc says, I'm all ready to get off on the holidays yesterday. Sweet. Me, unfortunately, I have to work every day from now until Christmas Day. And Christmas Day working is optional for me, and I'm actually opting to work Christmas Day, just to kind of be able to make that extra little bit of money. But I plan on trying to take off the day after Christmas, which is a small sacrifice. So instead of having off Saturday, I'm gonna work Saturday, so that way I can take off Tuesday. So basically, Christmas Day is gonna be a long day for me because basically I'll be working all morning, and then I'll come home and do the Christmas thing with the family in the morning, and then I'll be doing the Christmas thing with the girlfriend's parents and her family a little bit, and then I'll probably end up taking a nap if I'm lucky, and then I have to go out to my sister's because my sister's is hosting the dinner for Christmas, and then I'll probably be out there for a substantial amount of time. So, in the event that I don't get to take a nap, it's going to be a really long day. So I'm going to take off that Tuesday so that way I can relax, catch up on some sleep, and hopefully maybe play with some cool new toys. Hype Croc says, by the way, are you going to be doing some more Skyrim live streams? Yes, sir, I am. I actually, and a lot of you guys might laugh at me for this because Skyrim's been out for some time, but I've never really played Skyrim. I bought Skyrim some time ago, and then Steam was gracious enough to give me the free upgrade to the HD version, and I've never played it, and I thought that was awesome because that, since I started streaming, that gives me the opportunity to not just stream that game, but actually play it for the first time ever. I never really made it that far into the game when I first bought it. I only played the intro and probably I'd say maybe had like 20 minutes of the game, and that was about it. So I do plan on doing more Skyrim streams. Game over, biatch says, Smiley Face, what's up? What's going on, man? How are you? Welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping in. So in case you guys missed this early, this is my bedroom, and I got this really cool light for mood lighting. I thought it was appropriate for the room. I pimped this room out with a lot of windows, and I put the mood lighting in here, so in case, while we're out there like kind of cruising through the universe, if I find some lucky alien lady that wants to like come back to the crib and hang out, we can put some music on, order some space pizza, chill out. I can show her off my pimpin' farm where I grow all this crazy crops, and then I'll probably have to like send all my employees upstairs. That's why I kind of, I'm probably gonna put some quarters upstairs for them to sleep. So that way, if I have company come over, I'll be like, yo, time to go to bed. Get lost. Hype Croc says it is a really good game and has a very long story, especially with the added DLCs. It's super long. That's what I've heard, and I really look forward to it. I did play other games that the company made, like Oblivion. I played some of them and a lot of the DLCs, and I enjoyed it. Excuse me. I like the freedom they give you in the game. Like, you really can choose to do a lot of different stuff. There's a lot of different ways you can go about doing a lot of different things. So it's pretty fun. Yeah, there is a lot of mods for Skyrim too. I'm gonna try to stick to mod free on a lot of my stuff just because if anybody in particular comes to watch my stream or watch a game, and say they don't have the game yet, um, and they're watching me play the game as a way to decide if they want to purchase the game, or it's just kind of like them filling in until they're able to get the game for themselves. I don't really want to mod games because I don't want them to see something and then it's not in the game and it's because it was a mod. So a lot of my streams I'm trying to stay mod free.
Toxic protection. Stabilizing.
Just trying to see if they'd let me build any more stuff. It looks like I'm like strapped. That's cool though. You would recommend immersive armors and immersive weapons, which are very lore friendly. So you're saying that they kind of don't really affect the game all that much. That's cool. I'll have to look into that. But yes, I do plan on doing streams. Um, and in fact, you have to excuse me, my throat's a little scratchy. In fact, I'm trying not to play the game at all unless I'm streaming because I don't want to um, play the game and not stream a particular piece, because in the event that, say, somebody decides that they want to watch my series, I don't want them to watch part 1, 2, 3, and then when they get to 4, it's kind of like they're actually watching part 6 because I never streamed part 4 and 5. So, um, there won't be any playing the game unless I'm streaming it, so that way I can keep the continuity of the game intact, I guess, if that makes sense. But yeah, at the moment I have a handful of games, and Skyrim is actually one of the ones that's installed at the moment, so I do plan on playing it. Ooh, that was kind of glitchy. I just wanted to save it because it's been a while since I saved it, and I figured I should run out there and do that before I forget. Go ahead and give me just a second here, guys. Let me grab another drink because my throat's kind of getting really scratchy here. It's just give me a minute. Sorry about that.